Welcome to Think Alive. We're Sharon and Andy, just two people with a dream and a vision of restoring our traditional stone-built farmhouse in southern Spain, transforming it into a beautiful off-grid home and sharing our journey with you. Good morning, folks.
Morning, everyone.
Welcome back to the Finca.
Yes.
We're in the workshop this morning. I'm just inspecting our worktop for the...
Has it passed?
It's excellent. It's looking fab for the old corral. Those of you that saw the previous video, you've seen we've recycled an old horse lane sink. It's come up great. It's very, very heavy, and it will sit in here perfectly. So yeah, it's looking great.
Yes, I was hoping to get another coat on this today, but finally it started to sit on the surface, which means, I don't know if you can make it out on there, it's got some shiny bits on it. It just takes a lot longer to dry. So yes, there's not a lot more I can do with it apart from just wait. It's that patient thing again.
Yeah, so we thought in today's video, because it would be very boring if you just saw Andy doing more and more coats of the same and me line washing the ceiling. We thought we'd talk to you about something that's very close to our hearts, and that is sort of doing our little bit for the environment. As you know, we like to recycle, reuse, make everything that we possibly can. We do. So we thought today's video we kind of share that with you, and hopefully you find it interesting. Yes,
I mean, as those of you who've watched will know, this place is made from local stone. It was probably just picked up from all around. It's got an incredible thermal mass. It's lovely and cool in the summer. It's easy to heat up in the winter, and we kind of modern building techniques, we're not sure about them, are we? I mean,
no, I mean, to be honest, a lot of these beautiful villas around here, if you saw them before they were finished, you'd be horrified with some of them.
They just poured concrete slabs and pillars, they fill them in with those little clay hollow bricks. Actually, when I first moved over here, I lived in a fairly modern new apartment, not too far from here. UPVC double glazed, might have been triple glazed windows or something. And subsequently we lived in a villa ourselves, a modern villa. Oh, why, you just could not heat it in the winter, no matter what you threw at it. And in the summer, it's just
hot,
like an oven. Whereas, like I said, with this place, it maintains a really nice temperature all the way around. And I don't know about other parts of the world where we do a bit. It seems people have got this obsession with building cheap, quick houses and wrapping them in plastic.
I think that's why there's so many of these lovely old stone buildings going to rack and ruin around here, because people haven't got the time, the patience or the inclination to try and restore them, and it's really sad.
And we won't be wrapping this in plastic, that's for sure. We've got a lovely, breathable environment here. So yeah, let's get
on to it.
So this is where our new recycled, upcycled porcelain sink's going in that worktop. Obviously, we can't make everything ourselves because I can't make pipes and I can't make taps. But they are all made for our water system from their all recyclable materials, should anyone want to recycle them in the future. And we do, for our water, we try to collect as much as we can off the roof. It obviously doesn't rain as much here now as it did when the house was built. The whole planet's drying up. We have a big tank up the land that we can get it delivered, but we do try and collect as much as we can ourselves off the roof. So on the back of the house here we've got big guttering from the workshop there, feeds into that, down to a pipe there, from the apartment roof drops into this gutter, comes down, all meets in that pipe there. That pipe goes into our, we call it internal deposit, the courtyard deposit. We've got another big deposit out on the land, which collects storm water when it rains heavily, and then all that gets pumped automatically. There's a big pump in the pumping station there into a big purification tank in the workshop, which you've seen before, I'm sure, where we purify it and turn it into drinking water, which we do get tested and works perfectly.
And so with regards to our wastewater, that also is recycled. It's pumped up the land and goes into our biodigester, which is behind me. You might be able to see the green covers, not sure. Which uses bacteria to break down all the nasty stuff, and then that is filtered out through a soakaway onto the land and feeds our little orchard that we've planted. They're all very young at the moment and not really producing anything, but in a few years' time we should have lots of lovely fresh fruit. Whilst we're on the subject of food, as you know, we like to be as self-sufficient as possible. This year's not been a good season. We had that terrible wet spring and a lot of stuff didn't survive, but my tomatoes are coming on great. Tomatoes and peppers we seem to have great success with. Things that we can't buy though, obviously there are certain things that we can't buy. I always buy non-packaged wherever possible, and it's cheaper, funnily enough, so I don't know why more people don't do it. I've got a particular supermarket that I favour, that you can buy individual fruit and veg. I can choose for the quality, and I'm not throwing away packaging. We try not to eat a lot of processed food anyway, but if we do and it does come in a package, I'm a big recycler. I go every week, twice a week, to the recycle bins in town, recycle all our plastic, all our paper, all our glass. So we're doing our little bit as far as we possibly can to save the planet. And even down to our wine. This is how we buy it, from the local bodega, cheap as chips. We keep our containers, we take them back and get them refilled once a week, and then I decant them into bottles. We collect these bottles when we go out for a meal. If you get a screw top bottle, it's quite rare in Spain because they're mostly still on cork here. I'll bring it home with me and then I use it to decant our wine. It looks better on the table, doesn't it? So, yeah.
And obviously the other thing we can't make is fridge freezers and washing machines. I suppose we could use the old sink and things.
I'm not doing that, don't get any ideas.
In today's day and age, it's not really the way. Yeah, and obviously all the wiring and stuff we can't make either, but again, that's all recyclable. And our electricity, what can we say? Certainly in Europe, we're in the middle of what we keep hearing every day, an energy crisis. Electric costs are doubled, just spiralling out of control. There's even stuff on the UK news, people having to choose between heating or eating. It's not a great situation. But we're fortunate enough, we produce all our own electricity. We've got a big solar installation, and originally we had a payback time on that of about 5 years, give or take. So basically it's all free. We try and use as much of it as possible. Our hot water is heated by solar, but not through the electric, through a solar collector. It gives us endless hot water. And we've also got an electric water heater that we've not installed yet, that we're going to use to store that energy in the way of hot water to use our excess throughout the winter, hopefully. But that's another story for another day. So yes, we had a 5-year payback time. With the way prices are going at the minute, it's probably half that now. So we're so pleased we did that. We have a backup generator in case it's not sunny, which of course we have got to put petrol into it. Not super environmentally friendly, but we're not contributing to the use of tons and tons of thousands and millions of tons of fossil fuels to provide our electric. We're pretty independent when it comes to that, and I'm pretty happy because we've kind of come out well. It would have actually cost us more to get connected to the national grid system here than it cost us to do our installation, so we're ahead already. So yeah, anyone considering solar power, friend of ours, Rickard, hi Rickard if you're watching, he's just had solar put on his roof in Sweden. Not what you'd expect to be the sunniest, idealist climate for solar. He's actually getting paid back off the electric company because he is connected to the grid for the electric that he produces and getting his for free. So we can all do our bit to help the environment, I think, and try and stop this crisis and make the planet a better place.
We're up in the hayloft, those of you that are familiar with our little hayloft apartment, and this is the wood burning stove that Andy made out of an old gas bottle. Absolutely fantastic. This in the winter heats the whole of this apartment. We were very, very toasty last winter. using wood that is donated to us largely. The farmers have olive trees, almond trees all around us, and obviously they come to the end of their lives at some point, so they're all chopped down, replaced by new trees, and we get the offer of the wood, which is absolutely fantastic. This also served in the winter as my oven with a big crock pot on the top. Cooked most of the food we ate during the winter on here, so free cooking. We do have a gas hob. Obviously there are times first thing in the morning that you don't want to be faffing around lighting the fire to boil your kettle, but we do as little as possible using the gas. You may also recognise these stone tiles, if that's what they're called, that we reclaimed from the wall that we took downstairs. And our old wine barrel that was falling to pieces that Andy put back together, and that serves as our log basket. So absolutely fantastic. Of course, in the summer, most of our cooking is done on this fantastic smoker queue. Again, Andy made this out of 2 old gas bottles. It works a treat. Little shelf here made from a plank of wood we found in the bodega. Bits of offcut of floorboards from upstairs. I don't know whether you can see to my left the bench that Andy made, again just offcuts of wood and bits of steel that were left over. We love our recycling. On the subject of wood, of course, we are very fortunate to say most of it is donated to us, but there are occasions that we have to buy some. We bought some oak, you may remember, some home oak earlier on in the year because it's slower burning and makes less mess of the flue. That again is purchased from wood that is from sustainable plantations, if you like, and any fruit that we've bought again has it's the ones that farmers around the area, not just our local farmer, have pulled up their trees because they're dead and replaced them with new ones, and they go off to the wood yard. So yeah, and even my little handle here, I absolutely love my handle, made from a piece of almond that Andy fabricated into a little handle there. Fabulous.
So leading on to the main structure of the building, this is probably the best example you can see. It's all made from natural stone and lime. Totally natural, environmentally friendly materials. This is the wall I'm currently pointing when we do the courtyard. With lime and sand. We don't use any blocks or bricks that are manufactured in factories, which apparently are responsible for a large proportion of the world's CO2 emissions. If we need stones, we just walk around and pick them up. We realise everyone can't do this, but you know, we're explaining what we're trying to do our little bit to save the planet, as it were. Even the roof tiles, when we had the roof done, or when we did the roof, we reused old reclaimed. These are old handmade clay tiles, hundreds of years old, still work perfectly. So yeah, again, recycling. Even the patio, that's still a work in progress, is made from stones that were just lying around the place. We used massive ones over there, and what was left here till we ran out. We're still working on it, but yeah, it's all again just, you know, totally reclaimed natural materials. Even the lintels in the building, that's a piece of olive, and this one behind it is a piece of almond. Even the little window that we did, we're trying to use the same sort of lintels as the original. The other one we couldn't is the back door behind me, because it was so low. I had to make a steel lintel for it. But again, steel, 100% recyclable forever. Even the mastic for the windows, rather than using some horrible chemical-y thing, we made our own, a traditional mastic. It's actually worked really well. Maybe in the next one I'll put a bit of lime with it as well, but we'll do that in the future. But again, there's a little lintel on that one, you can see. Again, 100% totally natural. It's just sand and linseed oil mixed, used it for hundreds of years. Should work fine. So the house is made from primarily natural stone, natural sand, and natural lime. Pretty much that's pretty much the basis of it. The only other thing that remains is the wood. We use a hell of a lot of wood. It makes up a large proportion of the house. This used to be a solid wall through here, and we knocked it through and milled down 2 old railway sleepers that we recycled. Railway sleepers again we've used a few times. We've used them in the courtyard to build the support for the roof we're going to put up there. The rest of the wood, the step, the floor, the doors, the ceilings, everything, we make sure that it comes from France basically. It's Bordeaux pine or maritime pine, and it's 100% renewable source. There's thousands of square kilometres of thousands of square miles of pine forest. They ship it all over the world. We love the stuff, and plus the pine is what would have been used originally in the house because it grows a lot locally as well. It's just not produced in the quantities that they produce it in France, but it's the same stuff essentially. All the wood is treated with linseed oil, which is again a totally natural and renewable product. We love the finish it gives. It's so easy. Even on the floors, if we get heavy wear marks in heavy traffic areas, there's no sanding, no scraping off required. Yeah, just touch it back up again. It's fantastic stuff. Natural materials to us are the future and the way forward. And yeah, as everything we do, we try to recycle everything. Oh, that's the other thing with the wood. We had a lot of wood that was already in the building that we had to move or use, but we've reused that. It's 150 years old, a lot of it, and we've recycled that. We built the gate on the barbecue area and the little fence there, all recycled. Some of the bits in the kitchen, the utility downstairs, are made from this wood. The gate on the courtyard was made from 150-year-old wood that we just planed up, and so yeah, absolutely fantastic.
So basically folks, that's it. Obviously there are certain things. We still have a car. We need a car to get into town, to go and do shopping, to collect food for the animals. We've got Donk, but he's not so quick, not so good at moving, and we don't have a cart anyway, so that's out of the question. And there are certain things like Andy uses spray foam.
Yeah, we use spray foam. We use certain things in very, very limited quantities. But some things just make life so much easier, and the impact of the amount of stuff that we use probably, well, I think we more than make up for it in all the other stuff that we do.
I think so, yeah. We produce 100% of our electricity, we collect as much rainwater as we can. Yeah, we do as much as we can. We recycle, we reuse, we make
everything, yeah. Grow as much food as we can as well. All to just try and do a little bit to be a bit self-sufficient and save the planet.
Yeah.
So I think,
on that note,
yes, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Little bit of insight into things. Hopefully, and we're not trying to be preachers of anything here, but if everyone just did a little bit more, the burdens of the planet could be eased. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Thanks to all the subscribers. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Thank you, of course, to everyone that's bought us a beer.
Yes.
Or coffee. Very, very important in this hot weather. Thanks to all our Patreon supporters. Thanks to all our YouTube channel members. We couldn't do it without you guys. We'll see you on Thursday.